Hey, hi everyone, Phil here, and today's question comes from MH. I've run a number of tests on SPSS on a set of data. I input some of the data incorrectly. I've now edited the data. Is there an easy way to rerun the same analysis with the updated data? Those of you who are doing projects and running up loads and loads of output will be nodding in appreciation to this. Yeah, how do you do that? Because as newbies, we've just been learning how to use SPSS using point and click, and if you're doing lots of analysis, there's a lot of point and clicking. And suppose you realize you've made some mistake in the data, you manually edit it, then you're going to have to do all that again, pointing and clicking. There is indeed a faster way to redo all your analysis once you've edited the data. Though us newbies use point and click method, the professionals use programming language, syntax, or programming code. I'm going to show you how to kind of get the code for your analysis without any knowledge of writing code. So I'm breaking this presentation down to three parts. The first part is supposing you've not yet done the analysis, but you're just going to watch this video so you know about coding. Second is if you've already, like MH probably, done the analysis and now you realize you need to rerun it again. And then I'm going to tidy up on the third bits and pieces of running syntax just a bit more for you if you're interested in how to save it. So as a demo, let's just have two variables. I mean, this is meaningless, you know, two observations, doesn't matter. Just for demonstration purposes. Suppose I want to do some analysis. I'm doing the first step now, so I'm going to suppose that you're going to watch this video before doing the analysis. Let's say we want to do a frequency chart. Pick anything really, frequencies of my variables. Now, usually point and click, we just click OK to get the output, but now we don't do that. We want the syntax for that, we want the code for this process. So what you do is you look for paste, there it is, and you press that, and when you click on this, the syntax editor will appear with the code corresponding to the point and click. So let's press that. Here you go, another window. This is the syntax window. What you note about it is the menu bar looks the same, pretty much. This all here looks different, but the key thing is this body here. These two lines are the lines of code corresponding to your frequency, point and click. But let's just ignore that because we don't need to go into that. We just notice it's there. Let's kind of now do a correlation as well. You know, we can do it from the syntax window since the menu bar is the same. Analyze, correlate by variant, transfer my variables into the box, and again instead of clicking OK we want the code, so we press paste. Can you see what happens now? You've got a second block labeled correlations. So that runs the frequency, that runs the correlation, and you can just continue, you know, doing your analysis, just continue generating blocks of code. Now supposing we're done, we want to run everything together. So what you do is you go run and all. Now this will run frequency and correlations. So you see I have two blocks here, the frequency and correlations, and that's my output. Now you'll appreciate the beauty when now we talk about editing. Suppose I want to edit one of these variables, or change that to any old number. Okay, I've edited it, alright. I want to just do the two analysis that I've just done, but I don't want to do point and click. Then all I have to do, guys, is go back to the syntax editor, and guess what? All you have to do is go run and all, and it will redo it. There, done. Before we move on to the next step, just realize that the syntax that we've just saved will the syntax that we've just created, sorry, will act on our existing data. So if I just edit this data set and rerun the syntax, it will act on this data set, not the original. That's kind of important when you come in to save your data set. If you save your data set as the original one, then run the syntax on the open data set, it will just run it on the original one. Okay, so if you've edited the data, you might want to save it as give it a different file name, so like modified data. Okay, let's go to step 2. I think it's MH. situation. You've already run the output and now you've just edited it manually and you need to rerun. Right, so let's start off with the output window. Again, just the two analysis, frequency and correlation. I've already run the output. I've just edited the data. How do I rerun the whole thing? Well, what you can do is you can get back the code. And how you do that is you can see, like, I've got two analysis here. Let's go to frequency. Above frequency is something that says log. Log, if we click on it, see contains the code. So what you do is you just click on it once, a right click and copy. Then open up a syntax window, new syntax, put it by this cursor, right click, paste. There, and you can see it's done properly because the colors change as well. Then guess what? I'm going to do the same for each of my blocks. So I've done a correlation. There'll be code for correlation. Click on the log above it. There you are. It's a bigger block, but it doesn't matter. I just click once, left click on the mouse, right click on the mouse, copy it, and go to the syntax window. I don't need to open it because I have already opened it. I just position it below. Doesn't matter if it's right below. Give it a space, make it like separate them so you can see it clearly. Got one block here, got one block here. And now MH, all you have to do is go to your dataset, edit it, and go back to syntax and run it. Right, finally on the bits and pieces of syntax. Right, so far I've just shown you how to rerun your entire analysis, but we can run part of the analysis using syntax. Let's go under this run. You can see all these options. I've shown run all, that starts from start to finish. I can run selection, this kind of green play button, which you can see over here as well. So what that means is it will play or run the highlighted code. Suppose I want to run frequency only. All I have to do is go here and click on that line, cursor will appear. Then I put my hand on the shift button and I click where I want it to end, so say there. And that highlights the entire block, and it will, if I press this play button now, it will just run this bit. If I want to run this and this using the same method, I just click on the start, shift, hold the shift key down, press mouse again. I've now highlighted the entire code here and I press that. Okay, that's option 2. Option 3 means to the end. What does that mean? It means from the position of your cursor to the right to the end of the code. You can see this black thing here is called cursor. It's currently at the end. Suppose I stick it here, then if I go run to the end, it will run from start line 1 to line 7. But if I put my cursor, say here on line 3, and I go run to the end, guess what? It's going to run from line 3 to line 7. Finally, step through. Step through this is pretty good, like if you've got tons and tons of analysis. So here I've got 2 blocks, but suppose you've got, like, you know, I don't know, 10 or more blocks or something, I don't know. Right, then obviously if you run it all at once, you're going to get a massive amount of stuff just coming right through, and it might be a headache. You might prefer to run it one at a time, one block at a time, and to just look at your output. And that's what this option is for. So I put the cursor on the first line here, I run, I go step through from start. Okay, I could also do it from current. Current means from the position of the cursor. Now let's go from start. So if I press this now, it should just run this block and pause. So let's see. Yep, so it's just run frequency and it's paused. If I wanted it to run the next block, I go back to the syntax, and can you see that this red thing, this red ball here, now it's got here, this means that I can continue running from the line. So this arrow here shows what it's currently run. So if I press this again, it will now run the next block, which is this block. There, and it has, that's the correlation. And there you can see it mean this arrow is from start to finish. It's run from here to here. Cool. Finally, it's a good idea to save your syntax, and syntax has a different suffix, so just go File, Save As, and just look over here. The syntax here is s.sps. So to open it, you would just, once you've saved it, just open and then open syntax and open it the usual way, and you'll get this window coming up. Alright, I think that was a very good question, and something a lot of you can make use of. So thanks for the question, keep them coming, and be patient till I get round to them. Cheers!